Now for Real Talk, Greg Russell is in. He's flying from this side of the country to the other. We think he stayed in the country this time.
We're not sure.
We're not sure. Good to see you back, pal.
Great to see you guys.
Thanks. Thanks.
Ew. I just had to do that. It
Yeah.
just, ew. But that's nothing going along with the movies we have this
Okay,
week.
well,
good
that's
ones
good.
We've
this
got
week.
good movies
Beautiful.
this week.
So what we're celebrating Black History Month.
Yes.
And I was commenting about this movie, The Race.
Right.
I know there's been the Jesse Owens story, TV
Right.
and otherwise.
Right.
You're telling me it took till 2016 for us to get a movie about this great hero.
Right. It only took 80 years,
Yeah.
you know, to
That's
get it
exactly
going.
what Chuck was saying. He's like, so wait, I did the math. This something doesn't look
Yeah.
right here. Yeah.
Right. But I guess once you see the movie, the 80 years were worth the wait.
Yeah.
Very good movie. Brand new young actor, Stephen James, plays Jesse Owens. And it's all about, of course, 1936, when he is a student at Ohio State. He's winning all these records. He even set one up in Ann Arbor.
Right.
But then it's time for the Olympics. And just because of the way the world was, at one point he didn't want to go. But his coach, played by Jason Sudeikis, convinces him to go
Yeah.
to the Olympics. And of course, we all know what happened after that.
Right.
He goes over
Sure.
there, there's Hitler thinking, oh, nothing's going to go on here. And he just smokes everyone.
And there's so many storylines that I'm sure come out in the movie. You're going over to the Nazis. I mean,
Right.
this is the Aryan race that's being built here.
Yeah.
And here
that's
comes this guy and
crazy.
blows the doors off of everybody, right?
Right. And even one funny part is when they did get to Germany, here in the United States, people couldn't dorm together. You know,
Right.
like you're
Yeah.
on one side, I'm on the other.
Right.
In the Olympic Village, they all stayed together.
Oh, interesting.
Which was just so strange, but I got an opportunity to talk to Stephen James and also Jason Sudeikis about what it was like for him to play Jesse Owens and just how far we've come. And this is what they had to say.
All right.
You heard about all the stuff, you know, that went on like 80 years ago with people.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, even though it's a movie, but you're put into this.
As much of an acting experience as this was, it was an educational experience for me. Because, you know, there was a lot of things I knew, but there was also a lot of things I had no clue about. You know, I had no clue about some of the pressures Jesse was facing from both sides not to go to these games. You know, I had no clue about a lot of adversity he faced, you know, in his own school. So for me, it was just a learning process and, you know, learning about the steps Jesse took to, you know, overcome these obstacles and accomplish greatness.
Obviously, you're out there, you're doing the running and the jumping and all like that. How far did you actually get to do your jump, or did you even measure that?
You know, I can't really remember the long jump too much, but for the running, I think I did the 100 in about 12 point something.
Oh, wow.
So I got quicker while I was making the film, for sure.
You've got him there as the coach, and the coach had a situation where he could have gone to the Olympics,
Yeah.
but because of problems, he
Yeah.
didn't. But of course, he saw in him, it's like, almost like, here's a great runner, but he also saw himself.
Oh, without a doubt. No, I think that's a big part of mentoring. Even, you know, in that initial meeting, you know, Larry invoking, you want to go to Berlin, like that hadn't entered Jesse Owens' mind, and change starts with a thought. So, like the fact that he gave him that thought, off they go, and the next thing you know, cut to a couple of years later, and the world has been changed.
Wow. That's great.
Very good movie. And Jason Sudeikis, who we're used to seeing in comedies,
The funny guy, yeah.
yeah, does a very good job in a serious role. But truly, a movie that people should go out and see, school children should go out and
Good.
see, and all people should go out and see.
Awesome. Awesome. Lots of history there. So next,
Absolutely.
let's talk about Risen.
Yes. Now, this movie is all about the resurrection of Christ. Starts out with the crucifixion and just what happened the days that followed. Joseph Fiennes plays Pontius Pilate's basically his right-hand guy.
Okay.
So he's there, you know, supervising the whole thing. And as we all know, you know, from the story, the rock is moved from where Christ's body was, and he has to go out and find it because they really just think people stole it.
So is this
Right.
told from his point of view as a Roman soldier? Is that what we're following?
For the most part,
For
he is the
most part,
main
okay.
person who we're following.
Yeah.
But just a whole, you know, really nice experience when you see this movie. It's a religious film, yes, but they're not pushing
Right.
anything on you.
Yeah.
So you can watch this movie and enjoy it, you know, from many different angles.
But you also see somebody in this soldier who goes from unbelieving to
Right.
becoming a believer based on what he's seeing, the events.
Definitely, definitely.
So is this a real account? Does anyone, or is this some, like, fictional, rather? In the sense of the character and what he went through.
Oh, that part. I think the character is fictional.
Okay.
And probably just a combination
Based on the
of
Of a
biblical
lot of
people.
several
Correct.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. But I
Okay.
know both men who were in the movie really enjoyed the experience and talked about what it was like and just how they both felt. And here's what they had to say.
Well, great to see you.
Thanks, Greg.
And what a very inspirational, moving, touching
film.
Well, I think this story reminds us what a powerful and important narrative this is,
Yeah.
believer or non-believer. And the big hook was really the angle of seeing the story of Christ unfold. We deal with the crucifixion, the resurrection, and ascension, and there are few, if any, films who have taken so much on and delivered it. But the idea of seeing that narrative play out through the eyes of a non-believer, I think allows those in the audience who believe and do not believe to be settled and enjoy the narrative. And for me, that was the reason that I really wanted to be a part of it.
I can only imagine there are people who played it, years, for years, but they've all talked about just what an experience it is knowing that that's who you're playing.
Wow, it was a miracle. I mean, really, to be in that position and to have that opportunity in my lifetime.
Right.
I think how,
Right.
it's because when I became, well, Jesus was my first superhero, firstly. He was, I didn't read comic books, I read the Bible, and Jesus was for me a superhero. He was like this amazing, and then when I became an actor, people would say, what do you want to do? And I'd always say, well, I want to play Jesus. And it was a joke. I never thought it would actually happen. It was like, I want to play Jesus.
Isn't that something? That part of the story.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And what was also so funny, when I was watching or at the screening in Los Angeles, I'm looking up on the screen, and there's the shot of Christ on the cross. I looked next to me, looked back at the screen, and it was the actor who played Jesus
sitting
sitting
next
next
to
to me.
you. Oh,
wow.
So I'm
That's
thinking,
good.
hey, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So
think it's
you've
good
got
here.
some stuff to give away today,
That
too,
we
which
do.
is cool.
I've got 2 copies of the movie Steve Jobs to give away. Of course, this is the story of Steve Jobs, the guy who founded Apple, or one of the people who founded
Yeah.
Apple. And so it is a Blu-ray, DVD, plus a digital HD. All they have to do is go to our Live in the D Facebook page and,
Get one.
put in for one of
Good
these.
stuff.
So there you go.
So are you off again?
I'm off. I'm going out right now to talk to Morgan Freeman and Gerard Butler.
Very
Going
nice.
to the West Coast?
Going to the West
All right.
Coast.
The
So I'll
weather's
be back
great.
out there.
As
You got
always.
it. I'll bring
Yeah.
back some sunshine and
Please
warmth.
do. Please do.